Annyeonghaseyo, and welcome back to the Overwatch World Cup. You like that? You like it? Yes. Me. That's right. I'm learning. I got some more tricks as well. Anyway, I'm Golden Boy over here at the stage. We got a great matchup lined up for you. It's actually it's our last game here in Incheon, South Korea. Very sad. But one team will be walking out of here very, very happy. And that could be Finland, because all Finland needs to do is win one map against Chinese Taipei. One map, and they will be going to BlizzCon. Let's actually take a look at the standings, by the way, and see where we are currently. So, South Korea have clinched their spot to BlizzCon for the Overwatch World Cup Finals. And as we mentioned before, Finland just needs to get one map there. If they are able to do so, they're good, they're clear. Now, Chinese Taipei could play spoiler here, and Japan, Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, all out of it. Russia still in this one. Again, it all comes down to this matchup here. It's going to be a good one, and I'm very excited for it. You guys excited here in Incheon? Yeah, all right. Hey, excitement works in any language, baby. Well, for now, we're going to send it over to the casters to get this one moving. It's going to be a good one.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. And yeah, like he said, one map is all that Finland needs to lock in that second spot. Russia, the biggest Chinese Taipei fans ever right now, praying that they can come up with that miracle sweep.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an easy one against Finland. They've shown so much depth in this roster throughout the weekend, and unfortunately, Chinese Taipei has been shut down by nearly every team, only taking that win, of course, over Hong Kong. But we know Shaolin's a fantastic DPS player. If they have the series of their lives, there's always the chance, and we got to talk about it, there's always the chance that this roster right here will again be starting Kant, not Blue, for the first two maps. We'll see how they can play it out. Kant, of course, having a decent performance earlier, but was subbed out for Blue for the last two maps in their previous series.
Russia going to be hoping that all of the prep for this weekend from Chinese Taipei went into taking down Finland. That's looking like maybe one of the only opportunities, the only ways that they can get this miracle run, get that 4-0 over them and deny them BlizzCon and hand it over to the motherland. Nepal going to be starting us off on control here. Everything's set and ready to go. Well, we're not wasting any time. It's the last map of the day, of the weekend, of the Incheon World Cup group stage here in Korea.
And for every Russian fan and for the Russian team watching nearby here in the studio in Incheon, every map is the last map, but until Finland takes a win. So, Chinese Taipei will be starting off with Kant on the Roadhog here, it appears. And we will have Finland running the GOATS composition that they've been running and finding so much success with. Fraggy's signature Reinhardt. Here's the battle.
Well, swinging away here. So go ahead. Just crash into each other like waves. Gonna be Fraggy coming up. The first kill as the tank will go down. Fire Strike comes in. Massive value. He's already got the shatter. Fraggy's feeling it. He says one map. That's all I need. All right, guys. Get behind me. Jump on my back. I will carry us there.
And Fraggy is so famous for hitting big fire strikes, building up Earth Shatters insanely quickly. I mean, there have been
he's at 33%!
Yeah, there's been so many clips, there's been so many records of Fraggy on control, especially on Nepal, getting Earth Shatters before the point unlocks. This is no exception. He will hold 20% of the next Shatter as they fight in the choke. Looking for a Fire Strike here. Only takes out the trap this time, but it's so difficult now for Chinese Taipei to approach. Kant switched off the Roadhog.
He's about to lap him here. 30% here to the 41, going for that second Earth Shatter. Fraggy explodes for it.
They're gonna have to do something here with this McCree. OYO looking to give the discords, but Shatter, or rather the Graviton is ready. They're gonna wait for it.
Set. Don't need to throw it yet. They already go ahead. They get rid of Kant. McCree gonna be gone. Tencent taking a lot of damage, but will be able to stay alive, but Chinese Taipei zoned back.
Chinese Taipei is trying to operate around Kant here, getting the Discord orbs onto target so they can blow them up, but unfortunately they just can't get through the choke, they can't get them line of sight, so they're going to use the bar to try to disrupt the formation here of Finland, trying to get behind Fraggy's barrier, so that way they can actually get through and do that damage with the Junkrat. They lost a lot of ult charge with this swap, but they're running out of options at this point.
They are. Cap starting to come through. Finland's still operating onto the high ground. Now they're going to pop down. Linkster boosting his way in. Graviton's still going to be held, and the Tink has to go ahead and retreat. Coalescence comes down. Zapdos is going to get knocked out of his mech. Fire Strike from Fraggy gets rid of the Winston. Baby Diva going to get finished off. So Finland suffering one loss, but the main tank gone for Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, looks like they're still holding strong up here. Taimo on the high ground for an angle to swoop back inside.
Valley nearly here. A couple more swings will have it.
There it is.
Now up, can just hold this for the push, or just go ahead and pop. That's going to be the option here. Just get that armor stacking up and onto the supports. Khan going to get taken down. Linkser finds another kill. Fraggy holding the Earth Shatter.
And the disruption there from the Pharah was very limited. You know, I mean, they were able to get into position just one time, get that D-Mech, but that is it. Shatter came out here for Fraggy, does not connect, but here's the Graviton.
Yeah, Grab's gonna lock everybody down. Pit comes down onto a Ting. Overtime ticking away as the clean sweep just about comes through. Crazy, yes. He knows it's over, he just stands still.
This is Finland's best arena. It is their best map of the 3 on Nepal. Village, where they can use the Reinhardt composition to full effect. We're gonna take a look at Fraggy earlier on, before the control point unlocks, mind you.
Oh.
Shatter, but 12 seconds before the control point unlocks with the huge swings and also the fire strike. Set up there well by Big Goose with the speed boost coming through. And I mean, one of the best Reinhardts, I personally feel the best Reinhardt we have in the Incheon qualifier. So when you put him on this map in particular, he's gonna have a great time. And as we move into Sanctum and the future maps leading after that, we'll see if he can have the same effect. The Sanctum is a map that's more dominated by Orisa, but you can run the Reinhardt there. We'll be looking to run the Winston instead for this one, and they're going to run Dive with Taimo actually supporting on the Brigitte.
Pushing forward, just coming up the right side. Oh, Fraggy. Dip down into the pit, but it's got the leap, so he'll be fine. Chinese Taipei playing very conservatively after that massive slaughter that we just saw on Village. Want to approach this one slowly. Make sure that they take the proper fights and try to find success to tie us up and force out that finish on Shrine. Looking up over the top. For the hits there, Shaolin as he builds closer to that barrage, but Finland will have the first cap again.
Caught drawing a lot of aggro from Fraggy. He barely survived there. That was actually really well played by Chinese Taipei, but they do not get the point. They do not get the kill into Fraggy, so still, it's tough to operate around this Orisa now. It's very slow moving.
Yeah, dive into the back comes through. It's going to be Khan going down. Shaz gonna dip, however, it seems like he's gonna be falling through, but Crazy S is also gonna be dead. Linkser just pushing forward, spamming out those right clicks. Fraggy comes up with a multi-kill, 3 over to him on the Winston, looking for a 4th, but we'll just go ahead and leave 10-10 to his own devices.
The best opportunity for Chinese Taipei to take a fight was when Kant was collapsed on there by Fraggy and co, and they turned the fight onto Fraggy, but because they didn't get the kill, he was pocketed and kept alive there. Now Chinese Taipei's approach is going to be so difficult. The Dragon Blade is ready. Owayo does not have the Transcendence, so there's a tiny window of time where he can pull it out early. Even if he baits the Transcendence before the point, it's a win for Finland.
Yeah, I mean, trying to get this Orisa onto the point after you're already shoved off of it, after that first cap comes in, it's so difficult to do. Rockets comes down, finds a nice connection there onto Linkser. Sound barrier going to be up from Finland. Dragon Blade's in. Looking for the swipes, cuts up into the air, looking for Shaolin. Dropping back down, has to make sure he lands on the platform. Doesn't know what the hell's going on. Just freaks out a little bit here, but still going to be Shaolin taken down by Shaz. Dragon Blade not getting much, but Finland still going to be maintaining control. Chinese Taipei barely able to enter into the zone.
And here, in Ultimates, hold that thought. Fraggy just shoves them back here, trying to get some stagger kills.
Jump
There's
forward,
a double
kill.
But using ultimates like the Supercharger, for example, for Chinese Taipei outside the point are completely useless. It almost feels like, despite the ultimates they hold, a composition swap is warranted here. How could a Ting hope to do anything? He's stuck in the spawn. Supercharger's not going to be what allows them to get out of there. They're just going to try to circumvent once again with their mobile Pharah composition. There's the Supercharger.
He drops it down. When he falls to about half HP, Fraggy going to go off the side of the map. Can they try to convert this into a cap, gain control for the first time? Pulse bombs out, it's gonna be the barrage in from Shaolin. Finds the pop onto Shaz, Shaolin falling low, Pocket comes through as well as the Orb of Harmony. So they try to keep him alive, he's still gonna be hovering around. Khan throws down that pulse bomb, looking for a pick-off. Not gonna find it. 99%, cap starting to come through, but Linkser manages to tag into the point. He's got Taimu, Big Goose, and now Fraggy here to go ahead and back him up as 10-10 pops out of the back and will go down. Finland here with this finish on Sanctum, punch their ticket to BlizzCon.
They've done it. Huge play there by Big Goose to knock Owayo off of the point. He had the Transcendence. That was the ultimate that they had that could have maybe turned this to help them get that Orisa there, get control of the point itself, use their comp sustainably there with that big ultimate coming out from Zenyatta. That might have been their opportunity to maybe get the first flip of Nepal, but it didn't happen that way because Big Goose found an opening there, knocked the Zenyatta off. And even though the Supercharger allowed them to somewhat break through the front line, Shaolin was able to, in the chaos, sneak around the left side, They just couldn't win the fight in the long run, and we were wondering, will we see Fraggy try to flip over to the Orisa here? Would he be maybe even trying the Reinhardt, which has been, I'd say, a bit lackluster on Sanctum in general? No, the answer is he goes to the Winston, they play the dive, and playing around Linkser in this case ends up coming up big for them.
Yeah. Well, BlizzCon locked in. Finland and South Korea, the two teams that will be advancing. The rest of this is just going to be a bit of a technicality. The sportsmanship coming through to play out the rest of this series. Chinese Taipei already weren't playing for anything other than maybe to be spoiler to Finland's hopes. But now Russia know, if the weight comes crashing down, the dread is there. They will not be making it again. They do get gated out in a group stage where they have to play against South Korea.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Russia that storyline just kind of continues. Their loss in the finals in 2016, loss in qualifiers 2017, now in 2018. But Chinese Taipei, they're going to try to bounce this series back. We're going to find out where they are taking us for our second map, which will be hybrid. Of course, it will be their map pick. It's going to be King's Row. A pretty bold selection given that their opponent's tank player is Fraggy, but if you want to make a statement, and if you could defeat Finland here, you could defeat Fraggy on King's Row, I think you take a plane home to Chinese Taipei with a smile on your face.
I was hoping that maybe we would have something just a little bit crazier since it is the last series. Chinese Taipei, they know that Finland's locked in. They're already eliminated, have been for a little while here. But maybe something like the Blizzard World and Mbani, a pick that we haven't seen yet this weekend, would come out. But no, it's going to be more King's Row, so it seems like this is just what you and I are stuck with.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
I think we will see.
I don't mind the goats, Goats are all right with me.
I think with people starting to figure out better how to utilize speaking of which, the Wrecking Ball.
That's one way to jump off the side.
I think when people start to figure out this meta a little bit better, because there hasn't been that much time, especially for the Overwatch League players that are playing in these qualifiers to get used to this now that playoffs are done, and they're practicing for this tournament. I think as we head into the other regional qualifiers, Paris, Bangkok, etc., I think that's when we will see a little bit more of a wider map variety, but right now everyone just kind of wants to play what they're comfortable with. Speaking of comfort, it is going to be the Reinhardt Zarya for Fraggy, but Taimo and Linkser will be bringing up the Widowmaker and the Hanzo. We spoke to Taimo a little bit earlier, and he was talking about how some of the more one-sided matches, he finds it frustrating to play because sometimes it feels like he's not as impactful because his team is doing so well for him that he doesn't need to carry. And this may be just another one of those cases. We'll see as Taipei will be running the GOATS composition to approach the point.
Pushing forward, Linkser just going to get boosted up here by Big Goose at the moment. As he tries to spam out those arrows, 24% for the Dragon Strike as we see the wraparound. Chinese Taipei getting ready to work their way in onto the point. Push inside for now.
Yep, gonna try to go up this staircase, you would think, but Taimo found Shaolin on the backside.
Not even sure where he was sniping from. Finds that hit. Okay, he's at the hotel.
Yeah, he's in the hotel.
So he's just shooting straight down the hallway here. Push up onto the high ground. Pin coming down from Fraggy. Not able to get the hit there onto Kant, but still gets taken down. Linkser has the follow-up.
It's a common Widowmaker position when you expect them to be running GOATS because they're going to be heading this angle. The Widowmaker gives you a second sort of angle. It gives you a crossfire to where they're focused on the tanks on the high ground, but the Widow's behind them. As Kant will get taken out here again by Linkser.
I'm not sure how Crazy S got that kill onto Taimo, who swapped over onto the Tracer.
Yeah, well, perhaps we'll get an answer to that later, but at the time being, Shaolin going to come up here onto this Genji. Look for Linkser. Dash should be the kill.
It's a lot of damage down onto him. They're going to load the right clicks coming out. 60 HP remaining for the Genji, however. Fights his way back. We're going to hear that shatter coming out from Fraggy. In the meantime, Ting looking for the charge, but Fraggy's going to match. Just both going to be hitting the ground here as the hammer swings come back through. And that is going to be a Ting, Shaolin, and OYO all going down. 10-10 just to follow in the end.
Zappy is nearly dead as well. Pocketed up there by Big Goose, who's been a big MVP, I think, silently really taking care of his teammates quite well, getting that boop earlier onto OYO on Sanctum, making the big plays that don't always get seen on camera. Zappy is able to do massive damage in that moment with high energy. Also builds up to the Graviton Surge, the second ultimate they have here to shut down a push from Taipei.
Time and time again, single members from Chinese Taipei getting picked off. This is just going to be staggering them further, draining down that time bank. 2 minutes remaining here for the approach onto A. Taimo finds a pick off. Crazy S going down to that pulse bomb. Rare pick, seeing Taimo on a Tracer.
It is weird for it, but he's working well with it.
Yeah, so far so good. Energy building up. Spamming that beam into the backside of the Winston, trying to take down a Ting. Not going to be able to get the kill, but Taimo will find another one as Shaolin also falls.
watch this guy blowing up people in the back line. Everyone's eyes are on Zappies, of course, because he has the big impactful ultimate that 1010's going to look to absorb here with Defense Matrix. But if Taimu keeps getting these picks, he can hold on to that grab as long as possible. He's still got the high ground control right now. Here comes the dive attempt.
Their way forward, grab just sitting here, pin coming down, and Ting is gone. So they're just going to be feeling pretty comfortable to go ahead and hold on to this Graviton Surge for a bit longer.
Yeah, in a moment like that, it's just unnecessary because you have the extra damage there. Fraggy builds up to another Shatter throughout this. He's just going to go ahead and right-click jump across. Finland has basically every ult that they need to shut down this next push. The Sound Barrier can help shut down this Dragon Blade, but I think otherwise... or sorry, not the Sound Barrier. The grab could shut down this Dragon Blade. Let's see if he uses it.
Blade comes out, they have the barrier on top of it. Shaolin gonna get knocked down to the Dragon Strike, and Fraggy just hit him smack in the face. He will fall. Chinese Taipei in onto the point. They start building up very lightly here as Linkser pushes forward, looking for Owayo, and he is gonna find him. No Transcendence gonna be used. Knows that he needs that for this last ditch push that they're gonna have with the remaining 30 seconds, but Crazy S going down on the back end. Gonna be draining that clock even further as Taimu pushes in, looks for the pulse bomb stick, not gonna find it, so 10-10 staying in the mech.
Well, they lost the Dragon Blade to the grab, the combo comes out, they've got no tools left to approach this point. Transcendence can at least give a Ting an opportunity to primal, otherwise it's gonna have to somehow be getting into the backline, getting a pick, a big bio could be the start of it.
With the jump onto the top there from Shaolin, doesn't have a Dragon Blade, falls down below half HP where Taimu is just waiting for the supports. Sleep Dart out from Crazy S might be able to lead to a kill, but he is under duress. Linkser fighting his way over towards the point where the first tick is nearly coming through. 10-10 posturing up there. Linkser's going to try to match. That's going to get popped out. First tick does come down. Linkser dead, but not before he can get that mech gone. Transcendence out from Owayo now. As Fraggy just waits for that Earth Shatter. Tosses it just a bit too soon, however. Won't be able to get the lockdown onto the Zenyatta, but the Hammer Swings get rid of the Baby D.Va. Crazy S traded out as well. Down one support. Owayo trying to stay alive into this one time. Dumps another pulse bomb. Not going to find it, but Shaz manages to pick up the pieces. Gets rid of Shaolin. It seems like Finland just going to be grinding away at Chinese Taipei to go ahead and close out this full hold on King's Row. They keep stringing in one after the other, but a Ting will be dead before he can hit the ground. Finland, they managed to go ahead and pull off the defense.
Taimu with the fist bump there on Linkser. Finally got to play a hero, I think, where he made a big impact in the back line. But when we talk about maps, we talk about King's Row being Fraggy's playground on the hybrid map type.
Yeah.
If you're looking to defeat this team through strategy, if you're looking to defeat Finland through playing to their weaknesses, this was not the correct map choice. And Fraggy and Zappies had the front line controlled. Zappies was able to hold on to that Graviton Surge for so long. He only used it when the blade came out. They were able to lock Genji down, toss in the Dragon Strike right afterwards, knowing the timing of Deflect there, knowing he wasn't going to grab his own team. That could have been disastrous, but great Zarya player like Zappies knows that window right after the Deflect has been used to toss that one in. And Finland takes an easy full hold here on our second map. Now they get to play the same comp again. A lot of teams will run the Junkrat Orisa. That's not Finland's style for defense, but on attack, this map gives them the opportunity to play both attack and defense. Reinhardt, 4.A. And the comp that we see from Finland right now to the top right of your screen is very likely what we will have after Taimu does a little pop over and check with the translocator.
I could hold it. We have been seeing a little bit of the Sombra. It's not as prevalent as we've seen from other regions such as North American contenders, where it's been a heck of a lot of Sombra in that mix. But we have seen it from time to time. So maybe Taimu actually just sticks through with this one. I mean, he was playing Tracer, for crying out loud, so it would be just another odd pick to go ahead and stack up for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the ability to get up there and really disrupt what Chinese Taipei's formation is with the hack in the backline, doing that damage. EMP will build quickly. As Chinese Taipei is going to try to keep this hidden. They're actually not playing on the high ground at the moment. They're playing in the hotel.
Yep.
Here comes Taimu. We'll just go over here and identify all of this.
He'll be able to go ahead and spot this out. So, yeah, I see a mech trying to hide behind that corner.
And now
hey,
Finland's
guys,
going to have positional advantage because they're in the hotel. They got circumvented.
Well, they go ahead. They managed to kite their way back in. Finland not going to be collapsing in onto the point. Off the bat, hack coming down, looking for Shaolin.
Taimu's just doing massive damage here.
Yes, Fraggy built up here 61% for that Earth Shatter. Ting falling low. Gill's coming down, looks for the pin, manages to find him, but Fraggy's going to be fine. Not going to be falling yet. Shaolin now in behind the rest of the squad. Coalescence going to be tossed in by Owayo. Finland playing this one out nice and patiently. Get that Earth Shatter online. Kite their way back around the corner towards the bus. Does it stay safe? He sees the charge coming away. Finds a hit there onto a Ting. They finally do follow up for that kill. Tapiz goes forward, manages to take down the Reinhardt. No res going to be available here for Chinese Taipei. Crazy S going to be falling. Fraggy pushing a little bit too far forward, but the Graviton Surge is going to lock up the remaining members of Chinese Taipei here. Trying to get back in onto the point.
They do
Test
tag
this
onto
one.
it.
They get dangerously close here. Timing with the Widowmaker now out. Finds that pick on the con. They take him down, and that's going to be the 2-0 move up here for Finland.
Fraggy knew. Fraggy's just so good. He knew that in that moment where Reinhardt was up, knocked airborne, that he was going to be able to find an angle on him if he tried to retreat. If he didn't retreat, he was going to die. And when he charged, like you pointed out, when you were casting that, when he charged away, he knew there's just no way to block the shatter. He pops it out. By the way, they had positional advantage for that whole fight because Taimu played the Sombra, because he scouted that out. As soon as he does massive damage to disrupt the backline there, while Fraggy is also building up a faster shatter, he goes back to spawn, switches to the Widowmaker. We didn't have his first-person view on screen, but he supplemented a lot of that damage while Chinese Taipei was caught between a rock and a hard place there, and the grab comes out first, the shatter's well-timed. Again, this is Finland's best hybrid map, plays to their style, plays to their strength. And when you pick it, I don't know what Chinese Taipei expected heading into this one.
I mean, there's nothing else on the line. Again, this is just a formality at this point. It's already a feel-good series for Finland, even if they do get reverse swept somehow by Chinese Taipei, because they're locked in the BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So not going to have to worry about that at all. There's going to be going through these maps. Chinese Taipei, hopefully just having some fun with it. Obviously, they know that King's Row is going to be a very strong map for Finland, but just trying to go toe-to-toe, this is still going to be some very good practice for them, for these players in an international setting. But guys, let's go ahead, throw over to Alex on the floor. Golden Boy, rather. I don't know why I called him Alex. That's his personal name, his pet name for me. No, we'll go ahead and throw over to Golden Boy on the floor for an interview.
All right, Golden Boy down here with Fraggy of Team Finland, tank player extraordinaire. So, you have always been known as an exceptional Reinhardt player. What improvements have you made to your Reinhardt play over the last, whether it be OWL or even the last few World Cups since you've been here so many times?
So with Reinhardt, I kind of need to control my aggressiveness at times and maybe kind of be more careful with my ultimates. That's what I've been focusing on mostly.
And as a follow-up to that, also, you, as I said, were known for your Reinhardt play, but your Winston, not so much. This is a meta where you're going to need Winston from time to time, as well as Reinhardt, a mixture of those two. So what were some of the things that you've improved upon with your Winston game as well, since that's going to be so important here, especially going to BlizzCon?
It's kind of the same with Winston. You always need to kind of think about what you're doing. Like, always think about, should I jump here? Can I survive until my next cooldown? And go from there, pretty much.
Yeah, so, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? You got to manage those cooldowns as much as possible. So, finally, the big question here is you guys have won your game, the game necessary. You're going to be going to BlizzCon. So that's it. You guys have qualified for the Overwatch World Cup Finals. What does it mean for you to represent Finland, especially considering that you guys didn't get a chance to last year?
Yeah, especially because of last year, we're super happy to go to BlizzCon. This year, of course, we are proud to represent Finland. I think Giganti, the current Giganti, could have been in Incheon as well. So we are super happy we made it. So we kind of, represent them as well.
Nice. And finally, you guys have a lot of fans here in South Korea. So any words you want to say for the fans here?
Thank you so much for supporting us. Come coming up.
Awesome. There you hear it from the man himself, Fraggy. We're going to go and send it to a commercial break. When we return, the conclusion of this game.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently halfway through our final series of the day, of the weekend, of the Incheon World Cup group stage. If you're just joining us, I'm Achilles. That's Wolf. You guys have been missing a lot of action. Finland have confirmed themselves for BlizzCon. They are going to Anaheim.
That's
playing
right.
that big old top 8, try to get that championship and take it away from South Korea. So far, they're the only team that's come really genuinely close. Took them all the way to Game 5 here this weekend, but couldn't quite get the win, but they can still feel good about it. They're moving out in that second seed spot.
And because they're the only team that takes 2 maps over South Korea, that's why they have that map differential. That's why they've already guaranteed their spot, as Russia was not able to say the same. So it does, I think it is kind of a reminder going to the rest of our group stages that every map does really matter, and to take maps off of the team that takes first place are the most valuable maps of all, and that's what they were able to do. So really, 2 great teams from this region now, or from this qualifier, I should say, are heading to BlizzCon. So let's see how Chinese Taipei wants to close out their final match of this qualifier, because I feel like in a lot of ways, Chinese Taipei impressed me, like with Shaolin's play, especially on the dive heroes, and his Genji, his Tracer, that he started things off on when we looked all the way back to their first match against South Korea. So, you know, the map choice there of King's Row, maybe not the greatest one for them, but at the same time, I think that if they could show us something here in these final 2 maps, something exciting, maybe a new composition, something weird like you were kind of alluding to earlier, I think it'd be a little bit fun. I mean, I think when they leave this qualifier, I think they're going to feel good about what they've done for their region, for their nation, and I think they left a good impression on a lot of people. Shaolin especially is the player that everyone's looking at saying, like, this guy could actually be an Overwatch League player. He speaks Chinese, obviously, so could fit into Shanghai maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? Plenty of opportunities there. But, yeah, I mean, this is a time where you can experiment, There's nothing else on the table for you if you're Chinese Taipei. Nothing else, really, if you're Finland. You've already eaten everything on the table. You've consumed it. It's in your stomach right now.
Yeah.
And now you just got to wait till BlizzCon. That's it. But, guys, we do have something a little bit more exciting. I know a lot of people have been thinking about it. Some substitutions. Maybe that's going to happen. And we do have one, but it's not going to be Davin. It's going to be Blue.
Not going to be Davin.
Blue's coming in over Khan.
This will be the second time that Kant started today, and Blue subbed in after halftime. It's the only time you could sub in this format is after halftime. So he'll come in, usually the Widowmaker player for the squad. And, if you compare the two in Widowmaker prowess, Blue is the stronger one. But we'll see what he can get done as we head into Assault. It will, of course, be their map choice. And, he's a player that we've watched, I think, be overshadowed in a lot of ways by Shaolin because he's been able to make those flashy plays. But I think part of why Shaolin is able to make those plays is because Blue gives him space on the Widow, use those lines of sight to kind of force the players to move into different locations, corral them into locations where Shaolin can get that damage.
I mean, it's not to say that Blue is without his own highlight reel plays here from this weekend, but guys, let's go ahead, figure out what the map choice is from the side of Chinese Taipei, and it's going to be Temple of Anubis. I'm just feeling deja vu here, Wolf, every single time. Going to be the same maps coming in. We had Volskaya once, and then otherwise it's always been Temple of Anubis. But this is going to, this really makes sense for them with Blue in the mix, and I'm excited to see how he's going to square up against Taimu or Linkser, whichever one's going to be on the Widowmaker, because we know that they can flip back and forth.
And as much as the King's Row map pick played super well into Finland's strengths, this map does not. This is a map where it's very difficult to utilize the Reinhardt Zarya, nigh impossible. We've seen a few teams in contenders run it for point B when they have a small time bank. They're trying to hope to get that ult combo off, but it's a very desperate situation. This map is dive dominated on attack, and on defense you're usually running the Orisa setup. And for Chinese Taipei, they could put Shaolin on the Genji, plays to their strengths, plays to, I don't want to say Finland's weaknesses per se, but plays away from Fraggy's Reinhardt. And that's been the whole theme of Finland throughout this group stage, and especially in this final series here. Looks, though, that Finland wants to run something a little bit different here. They're going to run the defensive Wrecking Ball, potentially, with...
We'll see. Give it a little more time.
Okay,
but,
okay. I didn't see where Taimu was, and I was like, well...
I think he was back at the spawn.
But this is still pretty weird, right? We don't normally see this
McCree
setup.
is still not, it's still a strange one for sure.
I feel like the last time I cast Taimu playing McCree was a long time ago, but it's been one of his favorite heroes to play, even though perhaps hasn't had as much competitive success with it as others.
I mean, honestly, last time I've cast Taimu would have been Apex Season 3.
Yeah. Long time ago, but Here comes the dive.
Shot coming out, looking for that opening there was Linkser. Managed to get a tag there onto Shaolin. Still got his way back. Poison Trap going to be activated. Looking for the hit there, but the dash just a bit too quick. Shaolin just going to be kiting his way around the side.
Very difficult for Blue to get into position now against this setup because of the crossfire with Taimu as well, putting him under duress. It's all about building this Dragon Blade. That's the main plan here for Chinese Taipei. And as you can see, with good line of sights here on both sides, plus the additional potential stun from Taimu, it's very hard to actually commit further in than where we've seen Shaolin go thus far. You can see him just down here to the right of your screen. Linkser doesn't have a line of sight on him at the moment, but he is just looking to farm that up.
Yeah, just spamming away, forcing a Ting back a little bit, dissuading Winston from pushing forward. He takes a lot of damage as those orbs come through.
Yeah. Now, if he could get a solo kill on the Linkser, that would be ideal, but it's very difficult.
Way up, but Taimu's got his back. Flashbang immediately.
And that's part of the reason why the McCree is part of this comp, because it gives you extra protection, it gives you the stun we were just talking about. And the difference between the Orisa and the Winston is more mobile here defensively, so they can chase kills like this and completely shut down the entire push. Not to mention, when the dive comes through, Winston can avoid it, set up again for a counter dive. So for Finland here, they're going to feel great about the charges they just built. They're going to have a Deadeye in just a moment, and Shaolin's not even halfway yet to a Dragon Blade. And by the time he has it, Shaz will easily have his Transcend. So big wins here in every way on the side of Team Finland.
Trying to get the spot there onto the Genji. Sees him now. It's that body shot. As he drops down, goes for another one. Now looking for Blue. He'll drop onto the low ground. Infrasight comes down, misses the first shot, gets the tag. Looking for the finish. Unable to find it here at the moment. But Shaolin and Owayo both going to be dead. So still a very good look here for Finland as they try to pull off a full hold on A. Zap coming down, they're looking for Crazy S, and they're going to be able to find him. The rockets come out of the Diva, and the Mercy goes boom.
Shaolin builds about 12% of a blade on this push as well, and they're going to switch Blue over to the Tracer because he can't compete with both hit scans, the McCree and the Widow. And it's just not going to be a good option anymore. As a Ting falls, they're going to have to buy a little bit more time. Even trying to come up here and left-click your way to a blade is so risky, given everything that's here in terms of burst.
This is like the most aggressive positioning I have ever seen on Temple of Anubis.
Well, when you kill the enemy tank, you know you can stand up here because they can't come up. Now he's back. They do kite away.
I should clarify, in pro play, my teammates in solo queue try to do this all the time, and it never works out.
Yeah. Well, it might not work out. It might not have worked out for Finland if they stayed there, but they back off.
Keep themselves safe. Shot comes down. Crazy yes. Gonna be dead. Blue trying to just skirt around, dashes onto the high ground here, but Linkser, as he's fading away, just shoots him in the face.
The only hero that can't really move freely on the side of Finland, outside of Taimu's McCree, is Shaz, and they're both just positioned so well. Like, Shaz is never under threat because both Taimu and Linkser can crossfire anyone who tries to dive. They could win the tank war. They know they have ult advantage. Fraggy used that ult to make sure that everything ended up evening out there for them in the end. Shaolin finally has a Dragon Blade, but as we mentioned before, Shaz can counter that. And that's if he gets in position to even threaten Shaz through the stun of Taimu, through the damage that Taimu and Linkser put off. And everyone can escape. He gets sniped before he can pull it. And now time's running out. They're going to have one more chance. That's it.
Yeah. I normally am okay with looking at some of the other point of views, but honestly, Linkser on form right now, like we saw from him on Dorado.
Gonna have to pull a blade without
on
mercy.
Ohio. Gets the hit, no transcendence.
No heals, it's all
no
on display.
Really. Flexion comes up, Linkser takes a hit, goes low, but the pocket is available. Finds another one there onto Blue as the Deadeye comes out from Taimu. Self-destruct up into the air, he's trying to get the finish there onto that Baby Diva. Not gonna be able to get it, but neither is 10-10 going to be able to get that remech. Jump forward comes in from a Ting, but he is so far away from a primal range that he will just go ahead and get chewed up by the members here from Finland as they pause forward onto the point. Ohio arriving sadly by himself, going to die as soon as that Transcendence comes down. Shaolin can't even swipe once with that Dragon Blade, and this should just be the OT ticking away. Finland.
It was a pretty solid win.
Dixer is here, man.
They say you hate to see it, but the Dragon Blade, we barely saw it. We saw the animation and got blown up, but Linkser carries here by shutting down Shaolin multiple times. This time he kills the supports in this highlight reel. And watch this.
Oh.
Are you trying to kill me or am I trying to kill you?
It's just so.
Not to mention he kills OYO right
wonderful.
afterwards.
Yeah. And then he gets the Zen before he can use the Transcendence.
So
he's like, yeah, you know, this is what I do.
He shut down Shaolin so many times that it took him a long time to build the blade, then killed him before he could use the blade, then was able to kill the support so he couldn't come in support to utilize that. And I think a lot of people look at this and say, like, well, Taimu's just messing around, he wants to play McCree, but the way they utilize this comp works very well against Chinese Taipei's hero pools. Once Blue was losing the Widow War, he decided to flip over to Tracer, which is his secondary hero.
Which is still going to be very poor into the McCree.
Exactly. So everything that Finland did here on this defensive setup is intelligent and was well executed. For Chinese Taipei, they're going to have to hope for just as immaculate of a hold here. The Ting wants to mess around with his own Wrecking Ball. You know, we'll see if that comes out or not, but at least he's the Wrecking Ball player, so it looks more realistic than what we just saw earlier from Taimu. You can just collapse onto Finland if Finland were to run the Goats comp, which is not that viable on this point, but you know, it's something that they're really good at. Maybe that way a Ting runs the Wrecking Ball to kind of collapse on top of that, knock them up, and prevent that Death Ball from being successful. So that may be the idea here for Chinese Taipei.
Let's see what he's going to swap over to. Could just be the Widow Hanzo, maybe even just to go for the double sniper, but looking for the McCree again.
Yep.
You know, if there's anybody in this tournament that could show us the Symmetra on the final map, I suppose it would have to be, it would be Taimu.
Yeah. Thought maybe we'd see Linkster on the Genji Taimu Widow, but he wants to play that McCree yet again, and a Ting just going to try to get some high ground here to pile drive off of, but gets knocked away immediately. And now, I mean, Finland has free reign of this approach.
Yep. Jump into the back there from Shaolin, has to use the recall. Flashbang comes down, sends up the Lucio, but he gets out of view, so Taimu not going to be able to follow up for the kill. Getting his way out of here. Just one shot onto the Tracer. Shaolin pushes forward, does manage to take him down.
Well, there's a
The
cost.
rest of the team is going to be dying halfway already to that tick here for Finland. As Linkster
my
pops up
God.
over the top, finds the shot on the Shaolin.
Nasty stuff here. Well, this isn't going to last very long, I'm afraid. The Wrecking Ball buying time as the Ting just continues to touch on and prevent the full completion.
He's doing his damnedest here, but 10-10's going to get knocked out of the mech. It's going to be a Transcendence just for good measure here. And the bubble as they sit in the center. Ting pushing forward, drops down with a pile driver, but disappears as the mech will explode. And that's just going to be it. Temple of Anubis going to Finland. Linkster continues to impress with that Widowmaker.
Yeah, I mean, Taimu missed the stun, or well, the stun, you know, didn't connect with the Lucio because he came out of line of sight, like you said, and he was killed there.
Yeah, no stun
on the
headshot,
McCree.
but
like, it just didn't, it wasn't really about him. It was about the control of the line of sight from Linkster. It was about just collapsing on the point, making those punish plays. And the Wrecking Ball against this composition just finds himself, he's basically cannon fodder, you know, he's just going to be eating damage. He can't disrupt anything. It's a slow-moving, ranged comp that Finland pushed in and took A with. So, you know, it was creative as it was not successful.
nope. But Finland's successful.
Yeah.
They're looking perfect. Got the full hold on King's Row. Now they got one here on Temple of Anubis as well. One final map pick here for Chinese Taipei for the entire World Cup stop here in Incheon. This is going to be the last thing. Where do they take us to? Is it going to be Rialto again?
That's the kind of assumption, I think, for most people. But, you know,
Like
I mean,
dead inside as I think about it.
Okay, well.
Hooray!
I was hoping maybe we'd see something like Route 66.
Like
would be fun.
anything else?
Well, it's going to be Rialto again, friends.
All right.
And
This is
Froggy,
fine.
Froggy loves his Rialto. We've seen Finland attempt to, you know, spawn camp, which means, of course, to stay in front of the spawn and prevent those who are trying to leave and attack the point from exiting. That's what they tried to do against South Korea.
And I think we're just going to see it again.
We
I
may.
think that Finland might just do it all over again on the defense. Just try to keep them completely contained in. And I'm not trying to be mean, but obviously South Korea, a better team than Chinese Taipei. They might be able to pull it off and get a full hold with them right in front of the doors. It could happen. We're going to wait and find out, though. But Rialto is going to be the map pick, and we'll see how things are going to transpire as we jump on there.
Yeah, it could also be the just standard Reinhardt Zarya defense of the choke point there outside of A. When they push through that open area, then they can hold around that area, which most teams have been operating around on this map since its release. So we're going to jump into the map now and see what Finland wants to run here compositionally. As Taimu teases once again the Wrecking Ball, but we all know that it's more likely to be the McCree if it's going to be anything unusual.
I mean, he could do that. He could bring out the Pharah.
The Hog is what he played last time.
Yep, could take that on attack, but now he's just, you know, having fun. I don't know how that tree can sustain the weight of the Wrecking Ball.
Well, they're riding the boat.
Oh, this is romantic. Oh, well, now it's tragic.
It's always romantic till Taimu has to jump off the boat.
Yep, can't take him anywhere.
I don't know how those trees are stable either, man. Maybe in the future, roots just take a stronger hold.
It could be.
Well, he does go to the Hog.
Oh no.
I don't know if that was actually...
He's only got 20 seconds.
I don't know if that was actually on purpose.
I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure that was actually an accident. But
Time was like, oh, you ruined the strat.
It's okay. It's okay. Big Goose is here. He's zipping his way back to pick up the Zarya.
Always gotta bring Linkser back when he falls in.
Just shout out. I think that Big Goose is my favorite name out of any player in the Overwatch League.
Of course, he has to do the double G too. All right, here we go. It's going to be a scout here with the Sonic Arrow. They see that it is, in fact, that same style that they ran against South Korea. How can they get out of this point? Will they swap over to the Pharah to try to escape here, or will those match in tanks?
I mean, Chinese Taipei have to know this was going to happen. It's going to be the Bastion up onto the high ground.
It's a great opportunity right here.
Spraying away, looking for the hits. Stay out of sight. Taimu going to be looking to get that hook. Just playing around this so well, so sneaky. Push back out. Fraggy taking a bit of damage here as he sprays away. Has to keep changing position up here onto the high ground, but the tanks are going down. Barrier up, falls low. Pocket comes in. Diva going to be pushing up to the top. Shaolin, he's the one who has to retreat. He has to stay inside the spawn.
Yep. Oh, nice grab here onto OIO. The sleep comes in, but it's only going to be temporarily effective as the second Taimu wakes up. He's going to have a hook. Doesn't need it at the moment. Just checks to see if anyone's flanking him from behind. And Shaolin builds up nearly 2 configuration tank through all that damage, but even configuration tank is going to be difficult to execute given the situation.
Given the tankiness, like...
If he gets into a position to try to use it, then he's going to get hooked probably.
Time is trying to find a spot onto that Bastion behind the shield. Had that opportunity, but doesn't pull it off. Blue with the Reaper, you know.
Strong with Diana.
Trying to bust the tanks here. Pushes down. Zarya bubble coming down, and that's going to be the Coalescence out from Shaz. Big Goose taken down. Tabiz finds the hit there on a Shaolin, so no more Bastion in the mix. Fraggy falling low. Coalescence in.
Nice
Looking for the pin. Not going to be finding it. Blue manages to take him down with a shotgun blast. Taimu with the whole Hog. Just keeping them all contained into the spawn. There's no rest, however, for Fraggy, so he's going to have to charge his way back, which means that Finland likely going to be kiting away from this forward position.
Yep. Big Goose can just bring Fraggy back to the point again, as he did with Linkser just earlier in the unfortunate gondola incident. But Chinese Taipei have configuration tank. They could somewhat have this pirate ship-esque composition here on the cart that has massive damage, can break through tanks. Blue's close to that Death Blossom now.
100 energy here from Linkser, pushing forward. Grab's ready to go, hasn't tossed it yet. Swing's coming down, Shaolin's gonna fall. Shaz traded out, now Linkser dead, with the ultimate still in the war chest. Chinese Taipei trying to stay in this fight as crazy as it brings that Bastion back into the mix. They'll posture back up in onto the cart. They'll go ahead and knock some piece out of that mech. And they can keep rolling here. For the most part, you would have to say. Big Goose will die, so they can go ahead and keep pushing forward towards A.
And I think they could even keep the Bastion at this point. They have a good setup for it. It works well against what Finland is running. But Taimu's swap over to the Wrecking Ball is what's going to really mess this formation up, because he's going to be able to, assuming he gets a good swing, pile drive onto this. Those Blues positioning up on the high ground here. He's going to look for a Death Blossom.
Coming away and over the top, straight in onto the cart. Graviton Surge going to be tossed in by here by a Linkser. Death Blossom's out. Blue has managed to find the Zarya, and Fraggy's going to die. A thing with the Shatter takes down Big Goose, and it's actually going to be Chinese Taipei turning around this engagement from Finland.
This ended up being really bad timing for Taimu. We didn't get a first-person look on it, but Blue was up on the high ground, ready for this. He set up the Death Blossom throughout that longer fight, jumped down onto the back line of Finland right when Taimu came in. He was not knocked up, was able to do massive damage, and despite Zapiz's best efforts to mitigate that damage, he just did too much there. So now they've got a nice time bank, actually, despite the opening circumstances here to work with, and another tank, as mentioned.
Blue still sticking through. Taimu's over onto the Tracer, just going to be zipping his way around. Oh, no! Oh, dear, the saddest robot! Configuration tank gets popped, and he goes down. Finds the hit as Finland tries to regain control over the cart. 10-10 building up, nearly has that extra Graviton Surge ready to go. Falls down to about half HP, but it supports the dying, so it's going to have to hold on to that ultimate for a bit longer, it would seem.
Taimu's just finding a good angle in the back line to do massive damage.
Oh dear, he threw it. Okay. The Graviton Surge, I mean.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be Transcendence out from Shaz. Waiting for Fraggy to come back in. He's on the Winston.
That was a bit of a weird one.
Spraying away, dive in, comes through. Trying to knock him down, but Fraggy falls low and will get taken out. Big Goose finds a tank, but will die. Shallen coming up with the kills. Getting closer and closer to another configuration tank. We'll see if he can fully channel this one.
Stuck. Does get healed up here, bubbled, self-heals himself through that pulse bomb. And now they've just got to swing around the corner here. No Transcends, unfortunately, for Shaz, who used it earlier, a little bit early. So, I mean, this is working really well for Chinese Taipei. I think Finland's having some fun here, but be careful as this swings around the corner. They're going to have a great support for this Bastion, for this damage and the angle. Lynx are going to look to blade him, though. Here it comes.
Through onto the backside. Zarya Bubble comes down. Configuration tank is popped, and yet again he's going to die. The second that comes out, Shatter in from a Tink, swinging away, looking for the hits. It's a kill there on the Lynxer in time. Ooh, the DPS going to be gone from Finland, but everybody else still in the fight. Fraggy falls low, but he's got that Primal Rage. Doesn't have to use it. They have control over the cart yet again. A minute 25 here on the clock for Chinese Taipei with this absolutely insane push.
I mean, this is a bit bonkers, right? But this is what you expect when, you know, the series has no ramifications for World Cup qualification anymore.
Yep.
Finland has already won the series with the 3 map wins. You know, sometimes you get a little bit of a show match, a little bit of a flashy end. Shaolin wants to keep with this Bastion and actually attack Symmetra. Will be joining in the mix as well, OYO.
Okay.
Now this could be really cool. We could see Bastion ported to flanking locations using these teleporters.
I thought Taimu was going to be the one to bring it out, but OYO's actually going to be the one.
Here we go.
Teleporters up. Work their way inside on the high ground. Taimu going to be getting rid of one end. Nearly has that pulse bomb set.
The problem is they're not operating on the cart anymore, so he's not getting that passive healing, and the cart isn't moving.
Yeah, he's got the little sentry turrets going up onto the cart. Waiting. Where does he want to put him?
All right, just tossing here to maybe get a flank position for the Bastion again.
Spamming away. Crazy S going to go down. Lynxer finds the opening shot here. Fraggy falling low, and Taimu manages to get rid of Shaolin, and this is just going to be a clean sweep coming in onto the members of Chinese Taipei, it would seem. OYO, the last one, limping his way out of there, but doesn't get very far. This time it just goes for another dip into the river.
Well, it's time to take a swim, I guess. That's going to be the end of this
point.
point.
The tag. Yeah, managed to take out Crazy S, so no OT.
And despite the fact that this is all just in great fun, there was some cool ways you could use the Symmetras. This is going to be Crazy S taken out with Shaz there with the Valkyrie gun.
Gets another one.
Yeah.
All right. Bloodthirsty Mercy. Whoop.
Well, I mean, the Symmetra had some cool potential usage. Obviously, what they were trying to do for the first teleporter was to get up on the high ground to drop down onto the formation of Finland. And when a Bastion goes somewhere where it's not supposed to be, like, Bastion's a slow-moving hero, but then transforms into a non-mobile hero that does massive burst damage. The weakness of Bastion is getting him into position to do that damage. So that's why when you're on the cart, you're always in a good position because that's the most relevant point of interest in that moment. But when you use the teleporter, sometimes you can put the Bastion behind a team and remove that part of the low mobility. But in practice, it didn't work out all too well there. And it was fun to see. It was the first time you and I got to cast the new Symmetra, even though it was short-lived, shall we say.
If you want to call it that. we got to see it for a moment. We mentioned it. And then it went away.
It went away, sadly.
But who knows when we'll be seeing it again.
Well, maybe Finland's got ideas as to how to use it here on attack. They only have to go.
Honestly, I would love for them to match it.
Yeah?
I think it'd be great. It'd be great fun. Speaking of fun, Blue's on the Torbjorn.
Yep. Well,
So for you and I, at least, the rare DPS player on the Torbjorn, they're going for double sentry because Shaolin is back onto the Bastion.
Yep. And of course, historically speaking, for Torbjorn, it's usually the support player who plays that, but they're going to be running double support with the Torbjorn and the Orisa setup here. It'd be a bit of a surprise for Finland as they come out of the gates, but they're running a comp that can push through it. They're just going to avoid it directly using Big Goose to speed boost around the right side. And it's not going to be long for this world if they can get on top of it.
Yep, they're up here onto the high ground, Lynxer. They drop down, just denying those sight lines away from Chinese Taipei.
Good halt by 10-10 to kind of pull them down to the ground. They're going to have to approach again.
Push their way back, Shaolin makes a leap to the other side, gets postured up behind this barrier, spraying away as everyone just piles in. He'll deny. or rather the heel bump comes through from Ohio, but Big Goose comes up with 2. The right click takes out the Ana and the Torbjorn. Linkser gets the rest of them. And that's going to be the card moving forward as the Ting also goes for a dip. Can't swim with that armor on, though.
No, a bit weighted, you would say. Linkser waves to the crowd. They give it a big scream as we see that camera shot. Let's take a look at Big Goose's double kill here as he jumps across. Everyone's just low health. Boop.
And into the water.
Yep, tumble into the water. Everyone's low health gets blown up there as well as Finland gets onto the point. Fraggy leading the charge now. Shaolin's going to try to flank.
Really aggressive, stunned up though, as he goes into the air, but he's got the Zarya bubble to back him up, as well as the Wrecking Ball playing forward to disrupt the members of Finland. Blue, however, will get taken down, sleep in on his Apis. Rocket punches there, they finish him off.
Well, he's got a good opportunity to find another pick here in the back line as well. No one's tracking his movement at the moment. Lost his passive shield, but could build it easily if he hits Big Goose.
I'm in, yep, looking for him, takes him low, manages to find the shots. Time, however, gonna find a while. Get him out. They start pushing back through. It's gonna be beaming down the enemy Zarya. And out in that mirror little matchup there for the moment. And Ting can't get close enough to stop the cart. Just tries to exit here with his life intact. Will be able to do so. 4:40 on the clock, Finland.
Well, if
not very far away from closing out this 4-0.
If Chinese Taipei stops staggering like my Hero League games, I think they have a great comp against what Finland's running. They have the Farah to circumvent Fraggy's shield. They have the Meteor Strike to collapse on top of everyone who's on the car operating in this GOATS composition, now featuring Taimo Sombra.
Batter coming out, not going to be finding the lockdown there though.
Another
for
boot.
Fraggy, that's going to be the move, as you say, from Big Goose. Meteor Strike coming in straight onto the bridge. Not going to find the pickoff. He'll get stunned up. Ground. Blue is going to be dead. Still pocketed. As Incheon will be able to fall in the end. The focus fire just too much even for that Mercy, who's constantly channeling on the Doomfist. Can't keep him sustained.
Well, they've got a barrage, they've got a grab, but they don't have a lot of time to get back to this point. They're going to have to rush over here right now. Crazy Ass might even swap over to the Lucio. You have to think as they approach this, a Ting can knock everybody up with a big pile driver here if he can flank and get into position. That could be the opening they need.
Boy? That's going to be the pile driver coming down. Minefield just about set. He's currently isolated here at the moment. Adaptive shield's going to get popped. Has to roll back in. 2.38 left to go on this push. Shaolin eliminated as after he takes down Big Goose. Barrage in from Blue. They're going to take him out.
That was crisp execution right there from Chinese Taipei. Pile driver to get him into position, get him the mines. The grab is set up in the chaos, and they are able to execute the barrage with it. So just a few meters shy of that completion, they use all the tools they have to shut down this comp. And that's what I was talking about. You know, if they put their tryhard pants on a little bit here and come in with this comp that's really well made, all as a six-man unit, they can disrupt what Finland is running. But now they don't have those tools. All they really have is a meteor strike.
All right, well, Taimu's going to be dead, and I was just about to say, I'm kind of sad that we saw the Graviton used. I was hoping that we would get the Space Jam play, but not to be.
Not yet.
Shaolin running into Linkser. Graviton going to be tossed in, only locking up the Wrecking Ball here for the moment. Self-destruct out from the Diva here will be able to take him down. Shad's going to be eliminated. Shaolin picking up the heavyweight here. Shatter in, locks up. One swing's coming down. Will be Crazy as falling, but Fraggy dies in the process. Cart, not that much further left to go. 10-10 will get hacked out. They're spraying him down. The Bionade comes in, keeping him sustained. And a boost in from Ohio right before he died. Trying to get the damage in, trying to pop that mech, but he just didn't have the energy at the time. Still gonna be hacked out. He's good for Big Goose, who just keeps skirting around the outside here.
Oh, the payload's moving. They're gonna get on it.
They start inching that one forward. Couple meters left to go. Shaolin gonna die after he takes down Linkser, who is the side of the matchup with the Doomfist. Sound barrier gonna be in from Big Goose. Crazy yes, gonna be dead. 10-10. He does have that Graviton Surge. Might have to toss it here pretty shortly as the cart keeps inching forward. He's so dangerously low. Throws it into the wall. Big Goose and Chaz trying to stay sustained. They will be able to do so. Dragging up into the front.
Doomfist.
Cup comes down. Shaolin trying to get the hit. Zone him back with that Diva Bomb. Shaolin's gonna die. Ohio is gone, and Finland will be able to close out the 4-0 here to round out the World Cup stop in Incheon, South Korea. They get the win. They're going to BlizzCon alongside South Korea.
Certainly a map to be remembered, Achilles, as
there's some silliness.
we saw a little bit of everything there, but
we had a Torbjorn, we had Bastion a lot, Doomfist, Sombra. It's just all over the place. Symmetra.
What we saw there was really, I think, a bigger picture of the scenario in this final map is, you know, these two teams respect each other a lot, and, you know, at that moment when, you know, they did try the spawn camping strategy. I think Chinese Taipei decided, you know, look, let's have a little bit of fun. They're using an unusual tactic. The Bastion's going to be strong against this, and let's see what else we can pull off. And they did have some really nice defensive setups there against Finland's attack at the end with the, you know, Doomfist coming out, the Wrecking Ball to knock everybody up, and setting up that big barrage there. So Finland's send-off here is a final win. They only needed one map, but they got all 4. So they do end up with that second place score, jumping up 4 maps, and Russia will take 3rd.
Yeah, very, very clean there, finishing off with, I believe, the plus 12 differential on their map scores.
That's
so
right.
very strong finish for Finland to come out here. And I mean, Russia, after coming off the back of that loss against South Korea, kind of had to know that things were pretty much going to be done. The likelihood of Finland not winning a single map in this series, getting 4-0'd by Chinese Taipei. I mean, if you were a betting man, you put money on that and you happen to win, you're rich, you know?
Yeah.
You can go to the casino. That's, you know, one of the casinos here in South Korea afterward, because you got some money to spend, but not to be. Finland comes up clean. Only thing we were really missing in that one, we even had the Reaper. Only thing we were missing was a May. I think that really would have sealed it all together for just all of the off-meta picks. But not going to see that one. But guys, let's go ahead and throw over to the floor where we have an interview with Team Finland.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Taimu and the rest of the handsome gentlemen from Team Finland standing behind me. These guys just qualified for BlizzCon. Taimu, man, I remember in Australia how disappointed you were after you guys weren't able to qualify. So is it revitalizing to be back at BlizzCon this year?
It is indeed. Like, it's always the biggest pride to go into the big stage of BlizzCon and show the world what we got.
Right. You know, there's been a lot of tough challenges for you guys. This was not easy. You had the match against South Korea. Then you had to pick yourself back up and play against Russia. Between those 2 matches, what would you say was tougher? Was it tougher for you guys to kind of collect yourselves and focus on Russia, or was that South Korea match just kind of pushing you guys to your limits?
I don't know. I think, like, after we lost the first map to Russia, I think I was panicking a bit. I was like, and also, like, drawing the second map and then being so, like, how do you say, like, in such a disadvantage going into the third map. I think I was scared. I think my team was completely fine with it, and we pulled through, and it was fun.
You guys pretty much had your backs against the wall and had to fight all the way back. Now, Mr. Good Aim, I have to ask, since we got the rest of the team here, and you know, this is going to be the last time anyone hears from you guys until BlizzCon, is there anything you would like to say to all the Finnish fans out there who are watching you guys and supporting you guys throughout the entirety of this World Cup so far? And if any of you guys want to chime in, feel free to step on up and chime in. I'm gonna start with you, Taimu.
One word. Torille!
Woo! I don't know what that means, but it sounds awesome. But anyways, guys, congratulations to Team Finland. Everybody give them one more hand. And we're going to go ahead and break down the action with the casters. Take it away.
Thank you, Malik. I also have no idea what it means, but it's definitely a good thing. The Finnish players very hyped up. I'm sure everybody watching back home in Finland as well, excited to see that they have some representation at BlizzCon this year.
Yeah, and you know, I think the most incredible part about Finland's run here is they nearly defeated South Korea on the way. That makes them such a scary force going into that, you know, that final stage at BlizzCon, and they did it with a tough group that didn't. It wasn't just South Korea they had to go through. They had to go through a stronger Russia, I think, than what we saw last year, and also, you know, somewhat reinvigorated, revitalized Japan. So it was a tough group. They looked dominant, and I think they could feel very confident going to that BlizzCon stage.
Yeah, I mean, they might be, you know, very serious contenders on the BlizzCon stage, try to take home that championship, try to wrest that out of South Korea's grasp for the first time. They got the map wins away from South Korea for the first time. Can they be the champions for the first time over South Korea? That's the question. We have to wait a little while. BlizzCon's still a ways off. There's still 3 more stops of the World Cup set to go. But it was a whirlwind of a series, guys. A lot of stuff going on there. And we saw some unique picks all throughout. Starting off with Nepal, however, it's got to be Fraggy's Earthshatter. Built it up so rapidly.
12 seconds before control point unlocks. He's got the choke point advantage here, takes them out. And Fraggy was the story of the first 2 maps as he just totally dominated. Stayed alive here on Nepal, as we're going to see this big Zappies self-destruct. I don't know how many self-destruct kills he's had this qualifier, but it's insane.
It's a lot.
And then, you know, Fraggy setting up for multiple shatters here on King's Row. They end up getting the full hold. And, you know, a lot of people probably question, ourselves included, why Chinese Taipei would run this map into Fraggy. But They did, and they got totally shut down, as we see a little clip of Linkser blowing everybody up.
I mean, this guy on the snipers, absolutely phenomenal. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of those highlight plays on Temple of Anubis as well as we keep pushing through.
On the Zarya, too, you know, I mean, it's the bread and butter that Finland's been running so much. The Reinhardt Zarya. So we're going to see Linkser. This is the incredible stun that comes through from Taimu. You could talk about how that duo of DPSs here on the defense gave him an extra crossfire, gave him the stun to deal with both dive heroes. This is a great moment here. The flick, bam, right in the face.
I couldn't hit that Tracer if she was standing still.
If you gave me 100 tries, I probably couldn't do it, man. But
that's why they're the ones on stage and we're the ones here just kind of talking about the action. Because we can appreciate it, but we can't execute it ourselves. But Linkser, he was just executing everybody on Chinese Taipei, left and right, with that Widowmaker pick, with a Hanzo. It doesn't matter what he's got, really.
Well, we're going to see Blue here on this Reaper. He actually had a huge Death Blossom right before this that helped set up this fight win here. And even though it looks a little bit unconventional, and it certainly was, the execution here of this really weird strategy actually went pretty well for the side of Chinese Taipei overall. I mean, not this Torbjorn part in particular, but this section here where we saw the Doomfist coming through. They actually did a lot with it. Shaolin was able to set up some good fights with the Wrecking Ball and the Meteor Strike, etc.
But guys, it's been a pretty quick day overall, but we have our two BlizzCon teams established. Let's go ahead and take a look at the matches. Remember what happened here on the final day of this stage of the World Cup. Finland started things off with a 4-0, and they finished it the same way.
Yeah, it ended up being 5 4-0s today, but I think the most exciting one was South Korea versus Russia.
Yes.
And Finland was able to solidify their spot. You could see here that with that win, Finland jumps up to the +12 you were talking about. Russia sits in 3rd. South Korea dropping 2 maps, both of them to Finland, but otherwise come in the only undefeated team in the Incheon group stage with a +17 score. They will advance along with Finland. Oh, we do have to mention that Finland, their flag sits right next to South Korea. They made history in this qualifier to be the first team to defeat South Korea, take a map off them in group stage in World Cup, and they did it twice. So, you know, these two teams are the teams that deserve to go to BlizzCon, and they look pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, Finland, all of the really tight-knit series there, even the Russia one, the only draw that we had throughout this entire group stage as well. So constantly delivering those excellent matches as well as the fun ones as we just saw there. But guys, that's it. We're wrapped up here for the World Cup in Incheon, South Korea. There's still 3 more stops left to go. The other teams that are going to be joining these guys in BlizzCon, we still have to wait and find that out. But from myself, from Wolf, from all of the other broadcast talent here on the English side of things, thank you so much for tuning in. But now we'll go ahead and throw over to Malik and Golden Boy standing by to bring us home.
All right, Golden Boy and Malik down here at the stage, and that's it. It's over. No more Overwatch for a little while. How you feel, Malik? You okay? Oh, he's crying. He's crying.
It just went so fast, man.
He's playing it up. All right, well, Malik, I got to ask you, what were some of your favorite moments here in Incheon?
For me, it would definitely have to be just seeing the Overwatch universe come together. All the contenders players, the players that never played on the stage before, coming here and playing against some of the best players in the world. I think there's going to be a lot of Overwatch League scouts that have had their eyes on here. A lot of players are going to get signed from this. And I don't think any of these teams or any of these players should walk away with their heads held down. Everybody showed up here and gave it their all. And that, to me, was amazing.
That's right.
What about you, man?
Oh, well, for me, the games. We had South Korea versus Finland. Oh, man, that was a good game.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had Finland versus Russia. Woo. Man.
Probably one of the best in Overwatch World Cup history.
Oh,
right
without
there.
a doubt. Such a great game. And, it's sad to say goodbye, but that is the world we live in, unfortunately. And, Malik, we also got to give a huge congratulations to our 2 teams that have qualified for BlizzCon. You have Finland and South Korea.
Yeah, give it up for them.
Woo. But I think we close it out, buddy.
Yes.
All right. So to everyone here in Korea, 감사합니다 and 사랑해요.